Hello and welcome to my latest weekly property news from Madison's. Well, of course, we had the spring budget last week. I must admit, I wasn't expecting anything great to come out of it. It's why I didn't give it much coverage. It just kind of is a bit of a lackluster event. I'm more interested in what's going to happen with bank base rate. And it was pretty lackluster for the world of property. The only thing they talked about was all to do with energy bills and maintaining this energy cap. So at the moment, there's a cap. It doesn't mean that's all that anyone will pay. It's kind of a typical household will pay no more than £2,500 a year. The reality is you'll obviously pay for the gas and the electric that you use, but subject to help with the government. And they were going to reduce that by £500, that cap, in April, which meant that the average cost would go to £3,000 for a typical household. And they're now not going to do that until July, which is when they're thinking that energy prices should massively re-stabilise because the wholesale prices of gas and electric are due to come down in July. So they're going to extend that through till then, which is really helping us out for bills. That's a result definitely of having a colder winter than we were expecting. We should be feeling a lot warmer now. We're not, are we? It's raining as I sit here now. I'm feeling a bit miserable. It should get warmer. People should use less. Combined with that continuation of the energy cap should ride us through, and that's what the country needs at the moment. Energy prices are a huge issue. There's an interesting report that came out last week about the amount of debt consolidation that goes on for second mortgages. So second mortgages are really common to consolidate credit cards, loans, which have a much higher interest rate. And you basically, I used to work actually for Barclays Bank, and used to work in this department as part of my training that I did. And you kind of take someone's credit cards off them, cut them up, give them one loan which incorporates everything. It's a much lower interest rate because it's secured against your house, but it's a second mortgage, so it sits behind your main lender in terms of priority for payment if anything went wrong. So if the banks had to repossess your property, then the first charge gets first call. If there's money left over, then it will go to the second charge bank. Not many banks do second charges. They're obviously more risky. You've got less control. But providing there's enough equity in the property can be a really nice, cheap way of accessing debt. And those type of debt consolidation mortgages have risen dramatically, which I think is showing the pressure that the country is feeling as a result of the cost of living crisis. The number of prime second mortgages, which is those that people take out second mortgages who are deemed to be prime credit risk, really good credit risk, they're really dropping. And instead much more of these debt consolidation second mortgages. So good that the Chancellor's into that. Disappointing on landlords. There was hope there'd be something to do with mortgage interest relief payments, maybe something to do with the second stamp duty charge that you pay on a second property, but didn't even go there on that. And in fact, capital gains tax relief is reducing from the new tax year. So he's looking at making it harder or more tax punitive if you decide to dispose of a property that isn't your principal private residence, and get taxed more on the gain. So not much else in there really. It was quite lackluster really. What's going on in the world of property market? Well, we're in spring, believe it or not. I have 7 offers that I'm negotiating as I sit here now. How many do I think will get agreed? Probably about 3. And that absolutely correlates. The biggest issue at the moment, which is buyer-seller mismatch on expectations. The big feeling in the market is that it's sellers who need to realign their expectations. So earlier in the year, buyers were coming in with really cheeky offers. That has definitely reduced now, and they are much more rounded offers, but are taking into account the fact that the market was high last year and they don't want to pay those same prices. So if you've got a seller who was under offer last year, had a great price, you're unlikely to get that same price on that. And that's a really difficult psychological thing for a seller to get their head round. So that's the biggest thing I'm grappling with when it's getting my sellers to understand that they need to come down on their price, and they will save on their onward purchase all day long. They will find that they are then a buyer and get a great deal on that. Less stamp duty, it all works. So it's quite refreshing. I felt during the pandemic that agents became what I would call order takers. So you just simply picked up the phone, someone wanted to offer, it was either at or above asking price, there was no negotiation involved. But now it's a really fine art of negotiation, giving advice where it needs to be given, telling a seller when you think they should accept, telling a buyer they think they're being a bit cheeky, and having enough price evidence to warrant that, and being a really good negotiator through all of that. So it's all exciting. Next week, I am hosting at the Times of Tunbridge Wells Business Awards. That looks to be a great event. So really excited to all the people who've been shortlisted and found out they're finalists. I know many of them. Congratulations, first one being a finalist. I won Entrepreneur of the Year back in 2016. And I've been a supporter of the awards ever since. And yeah, I'll be really looking forward to being on stage and hopefully seeing some of my dear colleagues, friends, acquaintances from the town coming up and collecting their awards. So good luck for next week if you have been shortlisted a finalist. And finally, let's end with a lovely property that I have launched in the gorgeous and highly desirable village of Frant. It's literally 2 or 3 miles away from where I sit now, really easy to get to the town from there. Great primary school, really well supported local pub, beautiful countryside walks on your doorstep because it's in East Sussex, which is a bit more beautiful than some of the flatter parts of Kent. And this property is on at a guide of £650,000. You get really great value for money at that. It's got excellent accommodation and access to the most stunning communal grounds totalling 9 acres. So yeah, if you think that's of interest, please give me a call. I'd be delighted to show you more. Have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.